the more you try to force something or force money into your pocket, the more it kind of repels away from you.
Like, why are we trying to convince people who don't need it or don't want it to buy it?
Go where your customers hang out there, listen to them, do what they do. You're going to naturally figure out what they want to hear. The subscription market is predicted to grow to nearly $500 billion by 2025. As a fast-growing area in commerce, subscriptions hold tremendous opportunity to build a community of customers who share your values. Recharge is the leading subscription management solution helping e-commerce merchants of all sizes launch and scale subscription offerings. Recharge powers the growth for over 15,000 subscription merchants and their communities, turning one-time transactions into long-term customer relationships. Whether you're a direct-to-consumer business or an omni-channel brand, subscriptions strengthen your brand's relationship with your customers and makes it easy for consumers to make repeat purchases. With subscriptions, merchants are able to experience predictable revenue, increased customer loyalty, and higher average order values. Turn transactions into relationships and experience seamless subscription commerce with Recharge. Get started today with the subscriptions payment solution trusted by over 50 million subscribers worldwide by heading over to rechargepayments.com/uncensored. Ever wonder how those e-commerce brands you admire do it? How they know just the right message to send to the right people at the right time? Guess what? It's not experience. They have the right data and the right tools. They have Klaviyo. Klaviyo's data-driven marketing automation platform is sophisticated enough to power those legendary campaigns from the brands you admire, but they made it simple, easy, and fast enough for anyone to use. Klaviyo helps brands easily create personalized multi-channel marketing campaigns using your most powerful asset, your customers' data. Klaviyo integrates with all leading e-commerce platforms, helping you use your customer data in real time to send more relevant emails and SMS automations. Plus, building a marketing campaign is drag and drop easy. You can get started with your first campaign in under an hour and easily build from there with Klaviyo's best performing templates. Klaviyo gives you all the power of an enterprise marketing automation platform and none of the complexity, so you can compete with the big guys. No wonder more than 65,000 brands can't get enough. To get started with a free trial of Klaviyo, visit klaviyo.com/uncensored. That's KLAVIYO.com/uncensored.
You're listening to E-Commerce Uncensored with Kevin Manel and Jason Caruso.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us on another episode of E-Commerce Uncensored. My name is Kevin Manel, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso.
I got to get my my light on here, Jason.
I know, you got to turn your light on. Jen will yell at us.
Oh, lighting is better. I look so good now, don't I? Don't I look better?
Oh, yeah. No, there's nothing that you can do that make you look better.
Kind of makes me look pale. I got to get out of this weather, dude.
No, dude, that light has like a softer setting.
That's
what I take it off the bright one and you make it like, so anyway, Kev, today, well, not today, but I was on a podcast. I was on the 2X Commerce podcast yesterday. We recorded an episode yesterday. It's not live yet. With Kun Lei.
Yeah, which is the guy we met at Klaviyo Boston.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny because like when Jen booked this, I didn't know who the guy was. And then like as I was like getting ready to come on the podcast, I'm like, wait a minute, is this the guy who we met at Klaviyo Boston? And sure enough, it's him. And he remembered. And I did.
He was a good dude. I remember him, and I could never remember what the name of his podcast was, but we had a nice conversation with him. He was a good dude. Really good dude.
And what's interesting is that like he gets me on the podcast. He's like, and this is Jason Caruso from the very successful E-Commerce Uncensored podcast. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I listen to your podcast all the time or whatever. But it was really cool. But one of the topics that we talked about was, and this is something that we're going through right now with the golf business, right? We just launched this golf business and it took me a few weeks, right? Or maybe like a few months,
a few years.
Well, several years to really start it, but I've been working on it for what, a month and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. I did a sales page. I did all these things. Right. And so my plan was to do daily emails, and I sent out 2 emails, and boom, we got 2 orders.
High
One order,
fives all around.
high fives. We were excited.
Virtual high fives.
Virtual high fives. We were so excited. And then like I sent 4 emails since then, and we haven't gotten 1 order. And so yesterday on the podcast, we were talking about this idea because he was asking me like, what do you do on Facebook? Like, how do you run your Facebook ads? Like, do you have like cold traffic, then warm traffic, then hot traffic, and yada, yada, yada. And I told him like, look, man, like, I know a lot of people talk about that stuff, but I've never seen it work. I've never seen it work with even like $100 million brands like Grande Cosmetics, who like who we
What do you
used to
mean,
work.
like taking people down a
I mean,
flow
think
or
about all.
something? What do you mean?
I mean, think about all of our successful campaigns, even with like Rev Air. I mean, we never really did the cold, warm, hot thing. I mean, we did it in a campaign, but have you ever seen it
Well, I
actually
do.
work?
I do break up the ads, so I do get the most out of each campaign. Like, yeah, right there. Holy smokes, I'm gonna pass
Yeah.
out. I was coughing like crazy.
Uh,
We do set up the ads in a structure that way, but
they're the same ads, though.
speaking to them differently hasn't really been a thing that has ever
No,
worked.
they're the same exact ads in the cold, warm, hot.
Yeah, they're the
Right.
same exact ads. Yeah.
Right. So, excuse me. So yeah. So like he was talking to me. He's like, so how do you get your ads to work? What do you do? How do you make like what is like your process? And a lot of people, because with this golf business, I'm feeling like I'm sure a lot of people do. They get a couple sales, and then it like kind of puts us out, and they're like they don't know what to do. And one thing that we spoke about was that, like I said to him, I was like, look, I learned like a really important lesson when I was studying or, in my copywriting journey. And that is, in all the books that I've read, they all say the same thing. And they all say like, look, your job as a copywriter is not to convince people to buy something that they don't want or they don't desire or need, right? People think that our jobs as businesses or as marketers or as salespeople is to make people buy a product or your product if they don't need it or desire it. And I don't know where that mentality has come from. It's probably comes from like, the gurus, like they have to like pretend that they're teaching you something, so to speak, right? But where does that come from? Like, why are we trying to convince people who don't need it or don't want it to buy it?
I think that people think that there's not enough people who want what they're not want what they're selling, but like have the problem that they need to solve. So they feel like they have to branch out to everyone and convince them that they need it. I think that's part of it. Like they feel like their customers, everybody in a lot of cases, when it's really just the people who need their product. It's as simple as that. And I think that's where that comes from.
Yeah. And you're right. I think that that's true. So what I was telling him was that like, look, we try our best in all of our Facebook ads, whether it's for e-commerce or info products or whatever we're doing, or I'm sorry, physical products or digital products or whatever. We try to create compelling ads or compelling offers so that the people who are seeing our ads actually want whatever we're giving away, right? They want the information, right? So like you're just channeling that desire to your product. You're not trying to convince them to buy something they don't want or need. You're simply trying to convince them that what you have is the answer to their problem.
And the ad is in the ad. You create the ad in a way that it, and targeting is a thing. You put targeting in Facebook, but really the content that you're providing is what is kind of pre-framing that person as the person of interest or the person who could potentially want to buy your product, right?
Right. So you're going to target somebody who's going to see your ad, who's going to be attracted by the ad. And that's a whole nother story. Like, what kind of creative do you use? Do you use video? Do you use images? But the point of our conversation yesterday with Kunle is that, if something isn't working, there's like a good chance that it's your offer, or it's not solving a problem that your audience needs. Or if you're working too hard to make people buy something, it probably means that you need to adjust something somewhere, because you're not either getting the right person. This is something we talked about this morning with the golf business. We're running Facebook ads right now to a lead as the objective. And maybe these people are just not buyers. Maybe we have to do all of our ads with purchase conversion as the event, right? So the idea is that people should want what you're selling. You just need to persuade them that what you're selling is the answer to their problem, and it could solve their problem, because we all want problems solved. We all buy things, right? So that was like part of the conversation, was like not working too hard to convince people, even though there is a formula, right? Like, you do have to convince them to want your thing. You're not trying to convince them to want it.
I read Gary V posted something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it was. I don't remember where I saw it, but it was this morning. It was just, there's no level of marketing that will sell a bad product. Right. And I think that goes for the offer, right, too. It's like, it's harder that doesn't matter how hard you try. If the offer's bad or the product's bad, it's not gonna work. And I think that's what we get ourselves into. We fall in love with our offer. We think it's perfect. We think it's great. And then you get those couple of orders at the beginning that maybe like get you excited, and you're like, okay, this is working. And you try to force it on everybody. And I think that's when you get in some trouble, and you stop like testing different things and seeing how different messaging works and stuff like that. I mentioned it last week, and I think this is another situation where it's true. It's like with the Illusion of Money book that I was listening to. It's like the more you try to force something or force money into your pocket, the more it kind of repels away from you. It's like, just continue to do what you're doing. Try different things, try different messaging, try different ads. You can't force it. You can't force people to buy your product. The subscription market is predicted to grow to nearly $500 billion by 2025. As a fast-growing area in commerce, subscriptions hold tremendous opportunity to build a community of customers who share your values. Recharge is the leading subscription management solution, helping e-commerce merchants of all sizes launch and scale subscription offerings. Recharge powers the growth for over 15,000 subscription merchants and their communities, turning one-time transactions into long-term customer relationships. Whether you're a direct-to-consumer business or an omni-channel brand, subscriptions strengthen your brand's relationship with your customers and makes it easy for consumers to make repeat purchases. With subscriptions, merchants are able to experience predictable revenue, increased customer loyalty, and higher average order values. Turn transactions into relationships and experience seamless subscription commerce with Recharge. Get started today with the subscriptions payment solution trusted by over 50 million subscribers worldwide by heading over to rechargepayments.com/uncensored. Ever wonder how those e-commerce brands you admire do it? How they know just the right message to send to the right people at the right time? Guess what? It's not experience. They have the right data and the right tools. They have Klaviyo. Klaviyo's data-driven marketing automation platform is sophisticated enough to power those legendary campaigns from the brands you admire, but they made it simple, easy, and fast enough for anyone to use. Klaviyo helps brands easily create personalized multi-channel marketing campaigns using your most powerful asset, your customers' data. Klaviyo integrates with all leading e-commerce platforms, helping you use your customer data in real time to send more relevant emails and SMS automations. Plus, building a marketing campaign is drag and drop easy. You can get started with your first campaign in under an hour and easily build from there with Klaviyo's best performing templates. Klaviyo gives you all the power of an enterprise marketing automation platform and none of the complexity, so you can compete with the big guys. No wonder more than 65,000 brands can't get enough. To get started with a free trial of Klaviyo, visit klaviyo.com/uncensored. That's KLAVIYO.com/uncensored.
And even if you have like a so-so offer or a so-so product, it still shouldn't be that hard, right? Like it shouldn't be that hard to convince someone who really needs your product that they should buy yours. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. I mean, you still have to know how to persuade, but the way you think about it is different. The way that you're thinking about how to persuade them is different. And the way, and that's like, this golf business, Kev, this Facebook ad that we're running. It's when we first started running it, it's like we were getting people like almost like begging us to get on the email list. Like, I don't know how to get on the email list. Like, what do I got to do? Leaving comments like that. And that's because like the ad piqued their curiosity so well that like, it doesn't matter what the landing page looks like. In fact, we're spending like $100 a day right now, I think, or close to it, on a landing page that is just a form with a title and two sentences.
Yeah,
Very
it's funny
simple.
because at first you did this whole nice design. It looked really good, professional, with your picture and everything next to it. And I thought it looked great. And then I went the other day and it was just like text in a form. And I guess
Right.
that's working better because you're just finding that right person through the messaging, and it's like the targeting thing on Facebook and trying to find those people, I think, is the hardest part. And for us, it's almost evolved into no targeting on Facebook. We're just putting a message out there, and the people who are attracted to it will find it, will see it. And I think that's the trickiest part, finding where those people are hanging out. We started, for one of our other business, we started using Google ads to just identify those people. Because think about that. Like if you could find a person who's searching for a specific topic, that's your person. You don't necessarily have to sell them a product through Google ads. You can just use that as a channel to bring the right person into your kind of ecosystem, and then begin to deliver messaging to them that can then convince them that your product is the right product for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's right. And I think, and I'm just, this advice that this topic is like, this is what we're going through right now with the golf business. And what I'm going to be doing is going back to my sales page, and I'm going to be trying to tighten it up a little bit and make sure that what I'm communicating is actually what the customer wants and needs. And I think that sometimes, even like we get caught up in overcomplicating things. And I think that like simplicity always wins, and we talk about that a lot. And I think that I gotta kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit with our sales page, and maybe make it a little bit less persuading and a little bit more just like, here are the facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think situations like this where it gets difficult are when people just like kind of give up, and it's like, it's so tricky. And we have this other business, and I'm doing so many different things. Like I'm doing Google, like I said, I'm using Google ads to bring a person in, then I'm retargeting them on Facebook, and then we have a webinar, we have this whole thing in motion. It almost seems like this is what a sales funnel is supposed to look like. All these pieces moving inside the Facebook ads and in the Google ads and in the email. And then we get an order this morning from just like an organic search. Or I'm like,
Yeah.
It's like, like, how can we scale that? We don't know. But just like continuing to do these kinds of things, organic things begin to happen. And I think you need to stay the path and continue to do those things. You're doing the right things. Just got to make some adjustments and keep doing it, and don't give up.
Well, and that's the one of the things about this golf business that I feel like why I feel like I chose to do this at this point, Kev, not only because we want to be in control of our own product, but I think it's something that I won't quit on. Like I will force myself to continue doing, because I like to do it. I actually my entire day right now is just absorbing as much golf stuff as I can. I drive Jason to school in the morning. I have the golf channel on in the morning to try to see if I can pick up on anything. Not today, but tomorrow I'll have the golf channel. I'll have golf on my TV. Now, these are things that I would normally do anyway. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. Right. So that's why, like, it's funny because my wife, I was like, hey, I just want to let you know that with this new golf business, I'm going to try to be playing golf a little bit more because I need content, and she's like, you've been playing for 25 years. What do you mean? You don't have content for 20? I'm like, no, I just don't remember every story. And she's like, yeah, this sounds like I don't know what she said, but she's like, like this sounds like a scam to me.
And I gave you the same thing the other day. You're like, I need some content, so I'm gonna go play golf tomorrow morning.
Right.
And I just wrote back with the rolled eyes, the rolled eyes emoji. He's like, yeah, my wife said the same thing.
And the funny part about it, man, is like, I know we're getting off topic here. But the funny thing about it, Kev, is like, I know how ridiculous it sounds, but it's not a lot. Like, I'm telling you the truth. Like, you do need to be in it. Like, you do need to be doing it. You do need to be coming up with, like, I do need to be on the golf course, like, thinking about different scenarios that I got myself in. Somebody else got themselves in. I just actually, from the other day that I played golf, I actually have 5 email topics written on my board just from that one day of golf. So it definitely helps. And I know it sounds crazy, but like, if you do what you love, it really won't be. Now, I know what you're saying, Kev. Like, when are you going to be able to do what you love? But we're getting there. We're getting there.
I think it's a good point, Jason. It's for everybody, even though we got off topic. It's like, go where your customers hang out there, listen to them, do what they do. And you're going to naturally figure out what they want to hear and how to sell to them. So don't just sit around looking around on Facebook. Find out where your customers are and hang out with them.
Yeah. And my wife wasn't buying it. It didn't seem like you were buying it, but
it's true though.
It really is, dude. Cause like I could sit in my office trying to come up with ideas for the golf business and then just go play and just get 5 topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I know it's like a 4.5 hour thing, but the point is that, like, that's where I'm getting ideas for things to teach other people. And it's definitely helpful. Not to mention I'm playing with guys that are freaking awesome. So it's like, I learn a lot even from that process.
Better than me.
But no, not quite. I mean, they're close.
Yeah, close.
But look, getting back on track here, simplicity wins. If you're giving people or if you're solving a problem that people are actually looking for a solution for, then it won't be as hard as it feels. When you're trying to force something that people don't want, or you're selling a commodity maybe, or you're selling, like, toilet paper, or, something like that, like, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to separate yourself. But, if you have a product that is not as popular as, say, toilet paper, or not as commoditized as toilet paper, then it shouldn't be so difficult. Like, you should be giving people what they need. Now, the other side of it, or what they want, they desire, and what they need. But the other side of it is that I think we forget a lot. And I had this conversation yesterday with Kunle as well. Like, you got to see what's going on in the world as well. Like, right now we're in the middle of a war in Ukraine, and all over TV is like, Ukraine, Joe Biden, Ukraine, Joe Biden, like all day, every day. People are distracted. Gas prices, $6 a gallon. I mean, so you got to remember that all that plays into how people are spending their money as well. And people, I don't want to get into politics here, but, like, people don't think about some of the decisions that they make, how they are going to be affected. And how your life is going to be affected by the people that we put in power. And I know they're on both sides, whether it's right or left, like, there's always an excuse for why it happened. But I don't really care how we got to $6 a gallon. We're here. And
that's going to affect a lot.
It's going to affect a lot of things, man. I mean, we don't leave our house too much, so, like, it's not really affecting us. But dude, if I was coming to the office every day and I had to I had to fill up twice a week, it'd be $200 a week, $800 a month just to get to and from work. I mean, yeah, I mean,
So you gotta look at it. Same thing we went through with COVID. All that shit matters. It affects people's buying behaviors, how they spend their money. You got to look at it all.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. This was obviously a little bit more of a, like the topic is a little bit more general, but it definitely is something that I think is valuable, because sometimes we force things to happen. And one last thing, I actually got an email today from Ryan Lee. I didn't get it personally from him, but his email today, he basically said sometimes like the product just isn't good. Just let it go.
Right.
So, that's a whole nother thing. It's like, just maybe what you're selling isn't what your audience or your perceived audience needs. So think about that. Shouldn't be as hard as we make it. And usually when it's too hard, it means that we're forcing something. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't try. You don't give it your all, but it does mean that you got to be able to shift gears. You got to be able to move quickly. You got to be able to change your direction quickly. And that you only could do that by trying. I mean, we've been talking about the process, right? Trusting the process. This is a whole nother thing I've been thinking a lot about because of the golf business. I've been thinking about just trust the process. Just keep doing this. And eventually I'll figure it out. It's just can't give up. So
right on. All right. Before we go, because you didn't let me talk about it at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin.
Now. It's okay. You were in a hurry to get started, so it's okay.
Well, you asked me, you said, once I do the intro, I want you to like jump in. So I didn't know if you were done because we started talking about something else.
It's all good, man. Anyway, text email, the word email to 844-643-0745 to learn more about our email startup program, email service, done for you service that we're opening up to the world. You'll get, after you text email to that number, you'll get a response back from us with a little link to fill out a form. Some people are not filling out the little survey, so we're not learning anything about them to give them, any of our suggestions or how we can work together. So make sure you do that after you text. So text email to 844-643-0745. And as always, you can check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Later.
The subscription market is predicted to grow to nearly $500 billion in 2025. Recharge is the leading subscription management solution helping e-commerce merchants of all sizes launch and scale their subscription offerings. Over 15,000 merchants use subscriptions powered by Recharge to grow their businesses and their communities by increasing average order value, reducing churn, and providing predictable, recurring revenue. Turn transactions into long-term customer relationships and experience seamless subscription commerce with Recharge. Check them out at rechargepayments.com/uncensored. Attention e-commerce founders, entrepreneurs, side hustlers, marketers, and growth hackers. If you're working around the clock to build your dream e-commerce business, you need an e-commerce marketing platform that works just as hard as you do. That means you need Klaviyo. With Klaviyo, you'll delight customers and drive revenue at the same time. With personalized email and SMS marketing campaigns, you can design and send in minutes. For more, visit klaviyo.com/uncensored. That's KLAVIYO.com/uncensored.